US President Donald Trump is set to deliver his address at the World Economic Forum. The speech comes as markets and many US allies are raising alarms about Trump's ongoing push to acquire Greenland from Denmark. The US markets, remember, plummeted in the first trading session following Trump's threat to impose new tariffs on European countries, 8 European countries, until an agreement to sell Greenland is complete. US President Donald Trump has arrived. He is in Davos. Any moment now that address will be happening. This is happening at 8:30 ET, which is 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time. And it becomes crucial because world leaders have all gathered here for a 5-day summit in Davos in Switzerland. Trump is facing a tough midterm election cycle which is centered on Americans' cost of living concerns, particularly. And remember, when he previously spoke at Davos, he had spoken about proposals to make housing more affordable. But it is his increasingly belligerent stance towards Europe and particularly with regards to Greenland from Denmark that he wishes to acquire that has already taken now center stage. Donald Trump and his aides have refused to rule out using the US military in Greenland. And the president recently said he will slap increasing tariffs on a slew of key European allies until an aggression to sell the Arctic island is inked. Siddharth Zarabi is in Davos. That's where all the action is happening. Siddharth, any moment now, US President will be addressing Davos. More than any other world leader, this is the speech that the world is waiting to hear from. And it comes in the backdrop of the pot shots that has been taken against him by French President Macron.
Absolutely, Maria. In fact, the sense of anticipation is unlike that we have seen for any other world a leader. This has been one of the biggest turnouts at the World Economic Forum in Davos, primarily on account of the massive amounts of geopolitical uncertainty that has been unleashed on account of President Trump's actions, as well as the recent developments over Greenland that you referred to. There was a bit of a hitch, a delay that was anticipated with regard to President Trump's departure from the United States and arrival, but the clock is ticking and the hall here is jam-packed to listen to President Trump. The heads of hundreds of the topmost global corporations in this room, other world leaders, and in the run-up to President Trump's speech, we have heard from different world leaders, including the Canadian leader's speech, which has made waves because it was a pushback in no uncertain terms about the disruption both of the trade order and the geostrategic order that the United States itself has been championing ever since World War II. We also heard the French leader speak in no uncertain terms again about the chaos and the disruption that President Trump's actions and words have been causing, Greenland just being a flashpoint. And incidentally, it's not just politics that is responding to these developments. The markets have taken a hit as well, and some of that spilled over into the Indian markets as well. So, yes, what President Trump says to this gathering here will be watched very, very closely. The remarks that are being made here are very, very significant in terms of their import. Let's say if he indicates that there isn't going to be any further moves on Greenland, assuming that he is going to back off, that will in itself send a signal, because the pushback from allies, from key members of the NATO has been very, very significant. So multiple points, and frankly, as I toss it back to you, Maria, tariffs no longer the concern. Tariffs, every country, major economy has looked beyond now. I don't think that is a headline, and just as India has shrugged off the impact of 50% tariffs, the highest in the world, I think other countries know that tariffs really don't mean much. The real agenda of President Donald Trump in the reworking the world order, as has been known for the past 60, 70 years, is the real concern, that people want to hear his speech and figure out the finer points.
In that interview that was given to CNBC's Money Movers, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick had clearly said, Siddharth Zarabi, that America's tariff deals, our trade deals with Europe, with the UK, these are the durable and stable ones. So there are multiple speakers who are part of Donald Trump's present regime. They have given enough and more indications on how determined perhaps the US president is to ensure that Greenland comes his way.
So, Maria, let's put this in context in terms of the response. Commerce Secretary of the United States, Howard Lutnick, was faced a bit of protests when he was here speaking. We know that the new ambassador of the United States to India has been making all the right moves and remarks in India. American companies are investing in India. That part of our business-to-business cooperation proceeds without any hitch, hopefully. As you said, and this is the shift that has happened in the past month or so, starting with Venezuela and now threatening to spill over into possible physical action with regard to Greenland or even a purchase. Clearly, it will be either a forced purchase, a forced acquisition, or a distress sale. I don't know whether there will be any military involvement, but even if it is a proposal to acquire Greenland, nations, including Nordic countries, who may not have very large armies but are very old cultures, are not going to surrender their sovereignty just because of one world leader. And that is what we are seeing here. The Western consensus, the NATO consensus, the consensus in the Anglo-Saxon world, and the United States' role as the primary hegemon is now coming under question. Leader upon leader, business leader upon business leader is saying that, well, this is not done. Some are saying it publicly, some are saying it privately. There's a lot of diplomacy that is being used, but make no mistake, nobody wants what is happening. Some people are making peace with it, some are pushing back. That's the difference, Maria.